Hello, you guys. How are you? Jacqueline Jax here. Oh my goodness, it has been a minute and it has been quite a few months, I must say. But thank you so much to all of my wonderful subscribers over on the group page at Beginning Watercolor Group. I think it has been such an incredible journey, and I have some really special helpers over there. My team has been amazing this year, and honestly, I would have never been able to do it without them. So I thank them so much. You know, Lisa, and Ren, you guys are all working so hard over there, and I really appreciate you. So I thought I would celebrate our 70,000 subscribers with Paint Me videos. And I had this idea that I would set up my video camera, and as I'm just kind of working around in the studio, I could just kind of turn on the video camera and record, and you could see some of the things that are going across my art desk, things I'm working on, projects, and maybe we could just paint together and just hang out together, especially during these holidays when things are a little bit strange. You know how it can get. It can get very stressful, especially when you're doing things with family and friends and trying to balance so much, right? Completely. So what I'm looking at right now are a few different things, and I'm going to be clearing these away off my desk. So I thought I would just kind of show them to you as we went along. One is the new Botanical palette that is all my watercolor. So this one that's just coming out is going to be in quarter pans and the dot cards, so that you can try it, see if you like it, and then maybe order a quarter pan set, or if you just want to go ahead and order a quarter pan set, you're welcome to. Anyway, um, I will do some swatching on this coming up very, very shortly, so that we can take a deeper look at the colors and I can continue to kind of evolve paintings with them and show you all that they can do. But I think you'll really love this set. I think it's a beautiful set, great colors, lots of really interesting things that you wouldn't find anywhere else, I think, you know. Um, Other things I have on my desk that I thought were kind of cool is I have been looking at these online, and I ordered them to see if I'd like them and maybe could use them as brush canisters for my favorite brushes. And I am just so in love with the patterns. They are so pretty. Really, really, really beautiful. So this one came in, and then there's this one that I thought was so pretty. I actually want to do a painting like this because this is so inspiring to me. And then there was like a little version, and I think I have two other colors coming in. I believe I have a pink one and a yellow one coming in to look at. This is like the smaller version. So I kind of wanted to replace like some of the things that are just kind of getting to be too much. And I do want to keep the one, let me see if I can get my video camera to move maybe. I don't know if it will. Let me see if I can. So it doesn't want to slide that way. So over there, you see how I have this one, and it's got the lights in it, and I really love it. I'm going to keep that one, but I have other ones on my desk here that, now I've messed it all up, right? Nope. There we go. I have other ones on my desk here that are basically like filled with things I don't really use that often. So this is like so many pens and things. So I thought I would kind of go through something like this and just take out the pens that I love and put those in here, and put the brushes that I use every day in here as I use them. And then maybe in here I could put something that's just like smaller, and I'm not really sure what that is. It could be that maybe just a few of the pens that I've been using lately, you know, like would just go in there. And that way I'm not like having to pick out, because right now I have about 30 pens in here and I don't use all of them. I only use a few. So I'm finding that I'm pulling pens like crazy, and I never really get the pen out that I want. So maybe we'll use this for pens. right? So I can just keep them on hand. And unfortunately, I won't be able to use these, so we'll have to just like store them somewhere. So maybe I'll put them in the box. But aren't these beautiful? I think they're so pretty. I think they're for tea or coffee. And I mean, my thought was to get them for tea or coffee, but I don't know. I just really want them on my desk. I think I'm going to be really inspired by them. So those are two new additions. So we're going to put those here, and we'll take the little lids off so that as I kind of go through my flow here, I can store the things I need in them, and I'll work it out that way. What else do I have? So other things are sketchbooks. I mean, are you not always looking for like the perfect sketchbook? So up till now, Fabriano paper has been my absolute favorite. I just adore it. And it's really something that I have had such a love affair with since Arches. I mean, Arches is a great paper too, but it's a little more stiff, and I like this one because it's got all the benefits of Arches, but it's got a little more flexibility, and I like the soft feel of it. I always feel kind of sometimes that my Arches papers are a little bit too stiff on occasion, but there is a room and a rhyme for reason for all of that. So you will see them both being used by me often, but I have been using Fabriano a lot more than anything else, and I make these accordion sketchbooks that I do my tutorials in, so that I can kind of stretch them out and see. And I really love this size. I think this is a really great size. And the size that this is so this is 7.5 by 5.5. And you can get these on my website at jackswatercolor.com. And they're great because literally, I mean, this is a lot of pages that you get front and back of 100% cotton, beautiful watercolor paper. Now the ones here don't have covers on them because I just don't need it, but they do have ones with covers on them. Let me show you something that I just recently did. So this is a leather. It's a natural leather, so it is not vegan, but I found these and they did not have nice papers in them. They were kind of like regular notebooks. And what I did is I made up a bunch of Fabriano, let me see if I can get this off, Fabriano sketchbooks. And I fit them to these beautiful covers, just as a way to give you something that was a little more protected and allow you to get these Fabriano sketchbooks from me. And I also, I think they fit like perfectly. You know what I mean? I think they're really, really nice. And I fit them in so that you now have the ability to get a refill from me if you just want to get one of these. So like you can buy the actual sketchbook all complete with this beautiful paper in it. And then whenever you need refills, if you don't want to get another cover, you can get the refills really inexpensively. So this is one thing I'm kind of going to be playing a lot with. And it's kind of close to the size. It's not exactly, but to tell you the truth, this is great for my tutorials, but this is something I would probably reach for better because of the size of it. I think this is great. I remember when my mom was in the hospital just recently, and I kept wanting to go and just kind of paint and sit by her side. And I was bringing this with me, but honestly, it was a little bit bulky for even for my backpack. And I really loved this size. So that kind of got me started with, because I did not have a sketchbook that would fit. I had my swatch book, which is this size, which was fine. But if you notice, that's the size of this. So now we have sketchbooks that are the swatch book size, and we have them in colors with refillable binders. So I thought this was kind of really neat too, because on this one, I can put a mixture of all kinds of cotton rag papers, and I can even get them so that they unfold a little bit. And I have them coming in all colors. Now this one has a mix of different papers. It's got a tone paper with hot press on one side and like a medium to rough surface on the other, which I use a lot. I really love the paper. It's just something really unique and different, and it paints great. And then I have some cotton rag in here that I love. This is just beautiful paper. It's virgin cotton. And then I also found some really neat virgin cotton with pressed flowers in it that I thought was so neat. I like it. I just really like the paper. It's just kind of something unique and different. It makes it feel so natural. So I have filled these ones, which come in a lot of different colors, with all kinds of different papers in them. Now, some of them will even have refills available in paper that will be listed on the website, and some of them might even have some antique paper coming through. This one is all virgin cotton. So I'm just kind of like playing with it, but as you can see, I can fill them with tons and tons of paper. Oh, there's some of the flower paper. Isn't that pretty? It's really beautiful. And you can paint on both sides of everything. I love it. I think the size is just so fun and convenient, and I'm really enjoying it. So I kind of wanted to sit and wrap my head around the size of this in comparison to something like this, which also just came in. But this is not 100% cotton. So this is really inexpensive on my website, and I do like it. I think there's a reason, there's a spot for something like this easily. This is wood pulp paper, so this isn't 100% cotton paper. It's just wood pulp. And but the thing is I found this one with a wood pulp paper that really looks a lot like a cold press paper. And I noticed that it's good on both sides. If I were going to compare this to a paper that I put in the monthly watercolor subscriptions, and I love the fact that this is sewn in, so it's a really well crafted, beautiful sketchbook. So I picked up a bunch of these for the website for you guys to get a hold of at a very inexpensive price. So go and check it out and see if it fits you. I think it's great size too. This one is a little more than 5 inches, so it's almost 6 by 6, which is very, very nice, and it will lie flat. It's got really neat, like everything is done in signatures, and it's just bound beautifully. I could not bind these as well, but I am excited to do some more painting on this paper for sure, and just kind of like compare it to, my favorite. It's a wood pulp paper, so look, this is going to be a lot less expensive, right, than one of the like Fabriano sketchbooks, although I am putting these out at really good prices so that you can get one and just enjoy it and keep it. It's something you would keep for a long time. These ones are vegan leather, and then this one is real leather. So there are a couple of real leather in the website, and then the rest are like vegan leather, so that for people who don't want to buy real leather. Yeah, so let's do some painting, shall we? Shall we swatch out the, let me see, this is the granulating watercolor class. So we don't want to use this one because when I add more granulating watercolor things to that class, I want to use that same book. So here is the Botanical palette, and just kind of clear this away a little bit. And let's look at this one and see what this is actually like. So scissors, I think they can go in there, or maybe they'll go in here. Ruler can go in there. Literally, as I use things, that's what's going to happen. Here is one of the brushes, the synthetic brushes from my website. I think this is one of the 10, or like either the 8 or the 10. They're all about the same. So when you get these cards from me, and there are a lot of different dot cards up on the website, all you have to do is just literally tap a little water on each one. And that's all you need to do for these to activate them. They are honey-made watercolors. You're going to flip out as far as how pigmented they are. and how gorgeous they are. I know a lot of you went ahead and ordered them sight unseen, which I really appreciate your trust in me. And I love the fact that you like my watercolor that I'm making so much. So let's just do a basic run of each of these colors. So this first one is a gold, and it is a quin gold. I love the way it just so quickly activates, and you get this beautiful gold color going from like this warm kind of gold to a beautiful light yellow. This is going to be an excellent mixing color too, you know? And as you can see, you do not need a lot of these colors. They're heavily pigmented. So I did quarter pan sets. I don't know if I'm going to do larger than that just yet. I just want everybody to be able to get them and experience the watercolor. So let's start there, shall we? So that's a quin gold. The next one is one of my favorite yellows, as you know, which is an azo yellow. So it's got the brightness and the boldness in the wash, and it has a little more depth in the mass tone. So as this dries, you can actually layer it to get almost to a gold. It's kind of like a, see how it's got like a little bit of texture, but then it goes to this really, really beautiful, bright yellow. Isn't that pretty? Then, of course, botanicals have to have some brights. So this is a really, really bold pink. I use this pink a lot, and it's a great mixing color. So I wanted it in this set because of its ability to just bring out so much bright, bold color. And it's more of like on the purple side, so it's got more violet in it. But it plays in the water really well, and you can reduce it to a very, very light kind of violet pink. So we're going to keep it tilted that way. Same with this. You can really reduce this and wash it down even after it's dry. The next one is more of a warm pink, very similar to my color Carmine, if you have Carmine. So it's got like a really beautiful, like kind of bubblegum warm side of the pink. Oops. But then you can rinse it right out to a lovely, lovely pale wash for like some of those gorgeous roses or any very, very light pink flowers. So you have a warm and a cool pink that you can mix with a lot of things here. Then we have a few greens. And the first green is like a mossy green, which I really love for florals because it's kind of like a bluish green, almost like a cobalt green. Isn't that pretty? And it has a nice, like a little bit of granulation in it. You can mix this with more yellows to get even more interesting tones. You can also mix this one with your blues. And see what's happening when these two touch. When they start to touch, actually everything touches well in this palette. You can feel free to touch them up and just like see them kind of exploding into each other and creating some really, really fun mixes. Then I did a really bright green because you can make this a little more bold, or you can bring it into a spring if you want to. And this reminds me of like a viridian green, but kind of like an amped up viridian green, right? A lot of viridian greens just don't have enough boldness in the color. They're a little bit washed out. This one is not like that. This one is definitely that bright like green for botanicals if the sun was shining on the leaves, and then you would add a little bit of the blues to it to kind of tone it down and make those different things, which we'll do in just a second. Don't you love how this is pushing the green? Isn't that pretty? It like literally will push your green, and then you'd be able to let it dry and kind of go over in layers. Okay, let me try and not mess this up. Oh. I'm going to go next to this one. So I put 3 convenient greens in this palette because I think every botanical palette needs to have some different greens for you. This one is a lot of granulating green with that like deep dark ability to almost go black and give you that depth of color in your greens. You can also mix it with the blues. So feel free, maybe I'll just kind of skip over and go to the blues before we do the orange so that you can see this is that gorgeous warm blue, very similar to Blew Me Away, which is also one of my colors. I'm just going to let them touch a bit. We'll see how they drain into each other. And kind of just going to get more of this and just build it up and let it run into it. So you can see all of these colors, I have done them in a way where you can get really light washes or a lot more depth of color if you want. Actually, for wood pulp paper, this paper is performing beautifully. You've got to go pick yourself up one of these because I'm pretty impressed with them. I'm really excited to sell these in the store. Look at that. Cool, huh? So this is more of an ultramarine blue. So this would be great mixing with these other colors as well to get like purples and wine colors. And even this time of year, as much as a botanical palette seems like it's going to be, you know, all about summer, this easily, when you start seeing the mixes, can go really down to any kind of botanical. So you can do like more winter inspired ones. This is a beautiful color. This is a lot like, it's a little bit different, but similar to Blue Lagoon. These are all unique colors. These are not released anywhere else in my line right now. And this is a purple that I mixed up just for this palette. It's a granulating purple, and it's got a lot of like kind of ultramarine undertones. I think it's beautiful. It granulates so well. And it's got like a potter's pink in it so that you have that beautiful granulation if you want it. But if you don't want granulation in something and you're like, well, what if I'm doing botanical that I don't want like a purple granulating? Well, then you would take probably this violet pink. So I'm going to do this without messing up my sketchbook. And you would take the ultramarine. Now, ultramarine still does have a little granulation in it, but it's not going to be as heavily granulating as the other. There you go. And you can mix some really, really beautiful purples right on the page. Just like that. Add a little more. And you'll get a beautiful magenta. Just by adding a little more. Now notice how pigmented these are. All of my watercolors, they have no fillers. They have no additives. They're just all honey watercolors. So they're really, really fun, professional, light, fast. Isn't that beautiful? Gorgeous mix, right? So we have the ultramarine and mixing with this purpley violet color. And then I have a warm pink, which is more of my sunset pink color. And I'm going to take this beautiful sunset pink. Now this can do a lot of things. Sunset pink can do so much. If we mix it with this blue, then you're going to get some beautiful warm purples and wine colors. Isn't that great? And if you mix it with the other blue, then you'll get a little more moody purples. So how's that for some beautiful purples? So you can see, like, if you didn't want this kind of like mauve-y purple and you wanted like more bright purples, you could easily mix your own with what's in this set. You can also mix some really gorgeous greens. I mean, beautiful, beautiful greens. So one of the things that you might want to do is just play around a little bit with the darker forest green that I included here, because this can do a lot of different shades of green. So you just kind of give it enough color. You can mix in a ceramic palette. You don't have to mix on the page like I am. And you've got two ways to go. You can go with the ultramarine and start developing some beautiful like teal colors. So it brings that gorgeous warm, almost like a Prussian, like you can get Prussian blue into an ultramarine blue. Isn't that pretty? So it gives you like a really beautiful Prussian just by mixing it together. And then it will lean more towards a blue-green if, say, you're doing, you want like different levels of greens on your floral. And then if you want to mess with the bright green, you can take the bright green and either make it lighter with yellow, or you can mix it with either or any of these. Let's try the really bright blue. And develop that. Isn't that a beautiful green? Sorry, I didn't realize it was kind of off the page. See how it's like a Kelly green, but then you start mixing it with this beautiful turquoise, and it gives you some gorgeous, gorgeous colors. So pretty, right? This is pretty. So here's what we have so far. So far we've got these gorgeous mixes that you can get. And this is with a lot of water. You can do these a lot more concentrated. You can slide them around the paper. Isn't this paper doing well? I think the paper is performing great. It does buckle a little bit, but it's not a 300, right? It's 230 GSM. And it's a wood pulp paper, but this is doing amazing. And since it's got a hard cover, once this dries, you could literally just shut it and it will press out the papers for you. But I don't want to shut it just because this one underneath is wet. Let me get a little something here and we'll just kind of speed dry it a little bit. I'm going to switch books anyway. Okay. Nope. I'm going to put this in here. Okay, let's lay this over on the side so that it can just dry for a little bit. I want to test that orange. Let's grab one of the new sketchbooks and look at some of the papers in here. So we have the orange that we didn't swatch yet. It's a gorgeous orange. So pretty. Now this orange has a lot of yellow in it. So it can give you, like, if you paint sunflowers, this is your orange. Because it's going to give you like this beautiful sunflower shade that if you dilute it with a lot of water, it's going to bring it to like a very, very bright, beautiful, bold yellow. So like the flowers here, definitely. So you could just really enjoy this color, you know? And then you could like literally pull out petals with it and just, you know, eventually you could layer them if you wanted to, but I'm just going to kind of play a little bit in my sketchbook. So this is a neat size sketchbook. I think it's fun. I like it. I could definitely take this anywhere with me, this size. It's really easy. Plus, you know, it's refillable. Just going to throw these in my bag. Okay, so now I have this neat, isn't this a neat color? See how it's got the yellows? I think it's so, so pretty. See this with the yellow and the orange? I love it. So let's do another one over here. And we're going to play with one of the other colors. So I'm just kind of going in a round circle and just dabbing the color. And that is what's giving me a mix of color right within one color. So by dabbing it, it's giving me some of the orange and also some of the yellow just from the one paint color. All of my paint colors are very effective like that. They all have something, it's like they paint themselves, right? Like instead of making you grab yellow and making you grab orange, I basically put the two colors into one beautiful color that gives you the flexibility of just kind of enjoying it and having fun. And then we're going to take a little water on our brush. And incidentally, if you really want to learn more about botanicals and the way I paint, I do have courses. So you can go to jacquelinejax.com and I have 4 different courses that you can play with. So I'm basically doing the same flower. So I'm just pulling these out in just a really loose way. And while it's still wet, now this is the cotton rag. Isn't it great paper? While it's still wet, let's grab some of the sunset color and just let it run right into these beautiful petals. So notice I'm just letting it run, giving it a little bit of water and going through and just dabbing in the color and letting it do its thing. It's going to mix right for itself. And I don't even have to worry about what it's going to do in here. It can just do it on its own. Now I do sell this paper on the website. So you would look for virgin cotton or handmade cotton. Both are very similar. And they range from like 130, I think, GSM or 120 GSM. Isn't that great? So just some of the beautiful things you can do with this one. So we can take the orange and even mix it with the violet. You can mix it with the green. I mean, this is an orange, yes, but it is not an orange to fear. You know how most oranges you get mud if you mix them with different things. This is an orange that is just a warm, full of sunshine orange. So it has a lot of properties that border on more of a yellow. So here's another option. So we can take, again, just some strikes out of our yellow with our brush, just something fun. And we're going to use the violet one. Oof, look at that. It's like a fluorescent pink. Wow. And just tapping on a little bit of this of the petals. And then I'm going to take the point of this brush and I'm just going to paint the petals out just a bit more, very loosely. Isn't that fun? It's great, right? Now let's play with some of the greens. So I'm going to take the darker one and just love it. It's so striking. Let me see if I can get you guys in a little bit closer. Is that better? So I'm just using the tip of my brush to just give us some movement here. And then, I mean, you can literally like just dip into one of the other colors from where you have it. And then maybe I'll go to this one next. Notice I'm not washing my brush off because the colors are fine together. Nothing going to happen. And it's just going to kind of give me a variety of greens just to make it kind of more interesting until my brush is just picking it up. Look at how beautiful that green is. You can even touch some of the yellow. You can always clean it off later. I think it actually wants my brush to be cleaner. Get some of the yellow. And maybe do the other side of some of these leaves with a little more yellowy version. Just something creative. I mean, like, if you like to do even more loose, you know, you can literally just kind of start going through and striking like a background through it with some of this gorgeous yellow mixed with the greens. It's almost like this beautiful chartreuse. And then pick up some more of the different colors and create some more leaves. I mean, you really just, I think this palette for someone who likes botanicals, and even if you want to get messy with it, you can see I'm like, I can literally tap on anything and just keep going. The sketchbook is doing well for me, actually. And I didn't even like open it all the way. You can use a clip. Let me see. So I didn't even think about it because it doesn't bother me. But if you like things to stay more open, then you could just use a clip and clip it now that it's all wet. There we go. Nope. Sorry. I can't really hurt it. Okay, there we go. So I could just clip it like that. That's probably easier so I don't have to hold it. But isn't this a cute little book? I like it. I'm going to be using them like crazy. I think they're adorable. So I'm just kind of filling in areas and just kind of looking at it as I go here. And maybe we'll put I don't know. I kind of just like it is. Now as my paintbrush is getting more water than paint, it's giving me even like a different color. So I'm just kind of going with it and giving a nice loose layer of back leaves. So I know I'm putting them right over these, but they're going to dry and look like they're more in the back. I've done this before. It's, sometimes you don't always have to do things in a certain order. You can kind of wing it and just see how it goes. I find that if the values that I am painting with are lighter, then they're just going to go into the background no matter what. And you can even go over stuff with these colors and they're really just going to look nicer. It's like mark making, you know. Love these. They're so pretty. Can even go back and as this dries, give it even more, like a little more detail, maybe a little more shading or shadowing or splashing. This is one of those things that you can just lose yourself in. I love the way the colors combine from this set. Like look at how this orange mixed with the pink. It just loves it. And then I can even go back and even give it like a little touch of even just a little more bold pink. Look, we haven't even touched these. I mean, these will last. The dot cards, surprisingly, I'll bet you didn't think it would, but the dot cards that I make last a long time. You can get quite a few paintings. You could fill this entire sketchbook definitely with just the dot card. But let me forewarn you that when the palettes sell out, I do go on and make new sets of colors. So if you like these colors and you really want to try them, maybe don't wait until the quarter pans sell out. Get them while they're available. Or get the dot card if you just want to stick the dot card. Now here's another thing I'm playing with. I used to do my dot cards on like 5x7s. This is a size that will fit in the sketchbook. And I'm doing that because I feel like you could just put these into the sketchbooks. You know, they come with a plastic sleeve over them. So I don't have any with me, or do I have one? Yeah. So they come with these plastic sleeves over them. So all you would need to do is just like set the plastic sleeve right on top, or there's a sticky part on these sleeves. So if you put the sticky part underneath, then you can constantly like just fold it over and use it that way. I do that for this exact reason, because you're always like, well, how do I use these? Well, that's how you use them. Literally, you can let it dry, or even if it doesn't dry, just stick this right over and it will dry. And that way you can slide these right back in and you can still travel with these dot cards and you can collect them. Like you can put them in here. You could even poke holes in them if you had a hand punch. You could poke holes and put them in here. So I'm making the dot cards in this size now so that it will fit into all of the sketchbooks, and you'll already have a clear plastic sleeve to either put it in or just fold over. I would just fold it over, because that way if it's wet and you want to like go somewhere and you want to close this, then you would of course want to dry your painting before you shut it. But this, if this is still wet, then you could still stick it back in there and then just have the gloss right over it, right? So again, you could put it, either just stick it in there, or you can put the holes in it and then just put this paper back onto it using the sticky. So you would put the sticky here, like that. And then it would sit like that. And that way it would always be protected. Yeah, and that's a great way to store all of these beautiful dot cards that we have coming out of Jack's watercolor. All right, this was fun. So if you like the paint with me videos, please let me know, and I will do more of them. I wanted to try and do one in some way, shape, or form every single day as I kind of do these little moments in my studio, and that would be celebrating our 70,000 mark on the Facebook group page. Honestly, I think you guys are just wonderful people. You really are. I've just been delighted in meeting all of you, and I'm so excited that you're joining the subscription, the monthly watercolor subscription, so I can send you things. And even if you're not, if you're one of my students or whatever you're participating in, it's just great that you're here, and we're really happy to have you. All right. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy painting. Enjoy. Give this a try. And if you do, share it using the hashtag Jack's Art Challenge, and that will enter you to win maybe one of these beautiful botanical palette cards. How about that? I'll call the winner at the end of 30 days, just giving you guys time to kind of play with this and maybe even buy a sketchbook of your own. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.